we talk about the art and science of mastering strategy
Yeah.
execution. The science is whatever frameworks, methodologies, or plays as we use as part of the playbook. The art, in my mind, is the human dimension, right? And you already mentioned earlier, though, some people might try and circumnavigate the process because they're A types or whatever. How important is the overcoming the human dimension or the human obstacle in mastering the art of strategy execution?
It's probably one of the most important pieces. How I would say it is, at least in my feedback and my career path, I think it's my personality that allows me to kind of go through this because in my roles, you get a lot of flack, you get no glory, and then you get some, behind the scenes, like that, they know this couldn't have been done without you. You're in the trenches with a lot of tension a lot of times, a lot of misalignment a lot of times, and you're trying to bridge the gap, not only just like on following the strategy framework, but it's also trying to move a strategic body of work forward, right? Like you're trying to help broker that and that misalignment. And so you're doing both, right? And it's definitely an art. I don't know if there's like a magic answer. I think my skill set is just always trying to be, I'm able to be adaptive and kind of be a chameleon and be able to be like, if I'm in the IT world, I understand how IT people think and talk. If I'm in the marketing world or sales world, I understand how they think. And so it's trying to always think about it from their perspective and where they're coming from, and then try to like bring them back a little bit. So that's how I try to navigate communication. It's a never ending battle. It's a struggle. It's never, when you're in an enterprise function, it's dealing with all the functions from everyone from sales to tax, right? Those are a lot of different personalities, and you're one of the only few people that are working across all those dimensions, right? And having to communicate across all those different perspectives and personality types. I think just again trying to adapt your communication to their personality or their perspective. That's one thing I try to do. The other thing is persistence and perseverance. And that's what I think a lot of people after a while, understand that, my role in my past too, you get a lot of, say, I don't know how you do your job. Your job's so hard. I could never do your job. And I think it takes a certain personality type to be able to go into those, just kind of like be real and candid and say it like it is in a way. But there's the art of how you say it, right? You're definitely being a diplomat. And I think a lot of people, especially coming from like a PMO type role, like myself, they're so focused on like following this rigid process and following, I've got this framework, they have to follow it kind of thing, where I'm like, I know my framework and principles and the structure, but it's how do I adapt it to them too? And tailor it to them. And that's my approach. And I think that's also helpful. And none of it's perfect though. Dealing with the human obstacle is definitely the hardest part though, right? And especially at this level, because you're not only dealing with the alphas, like I said, but you're dealing with very many different perspectives. And some people are very structured, disciplined people that like it. And then there's some, especially the commercial organizations, right? You're trying to bring commercial sales guys to a structured approach and operations. Supply chain, these guys are process improvement guys, very disciplined process structure. Sales guys, sell, go do it. I just do it, right? And so it's bringing those kinds of mindsets together at the right level of structure. That's what I try to do, is what I call it the minimum viable framework is, everyone still has an autonomy in not telling them how to, I'm not going to tell a senior vice president how to run their meeting or job, but it's trying to take it and drive some consistency across the different functions the best I can.